Hello again, and what is hip, and welcome to a somewhat exciting unboxing and first impressions video today. So for those of you that don't know, Sega actually came out with a Model 2 Sega Genesis Mini, which is super cool. It came out of nowhere. It's not being advertised much in the States. Apparently, from what I have read up, for every 10 of the original Sega Genesis Mini that Sega came out with, they are producing one Sega Genesis Mini 2 for the United States. So it's limited supply. Apparently they're only doing one run or so, at least from what I've heard. And I missed out on the first one. I do have the Super Nintendo Classic Mini Edition, and that was wonderful. The reason I got that was solely because it had Star Fox 2 on there, so it was the first official Nintendo release of that, so I had to get that. And the reason why I skipped the first Sega Genesis Mini was because most of the games I either played or already had, and there wasn't much in regards to like new releases that were on there. There was the Tetris for the Genesis that was released for the first time on there, and I think one other game. But the Mini 2 here has a bunch more games. It's got a Sega CD and a lot more uncommon, lesser known titles, which is really cool, like Shining Force CD, which is huge. That's a game I've wanted for a long time, but it's a couple $100, and now I got Shining Force and a bunch of other really cool Sega CD games and some other games, and a lot of kind of refinements made to a bunch of these older games. So really exciting. It's $99 plus about $20-$30 shipping on Amazon, and apparently it's only being sold through Amazon. And last I checked, they were still in stock. So pick it up if you can, if you're interested, and let's just jump right into the unboxing. All right. So this is my first time unboxing this as well, so I'm very excited to see this along with you guys. So the box is actually incredibly small. It was a lot smaller than I was expecting, and it's very hefty. It's a very dense box. So inside here we have an HDMI cable. We got a micro USB cable here. It looks like this is the console. And then we have a power adapter here, which is a very nice inclusion. It's too bad that I have to say that, but a lot of companies are not including power bricks, which is a shame. But Sega did, thankfully. And here we got the Sega Genesis Model 2, or the 6-button controller, which is really cool. Apparently the 3-button came with the first Mini, and we have the 6-button here. And it feels, wow, it actually feels really good. The plastic is definitely a different kind of feel. Here is an original 6-button Sega Genesis controller, and here is the new one. And you can even see there's a little difference in the colors as well, just slightly. And in regards to feel, okay, so the new 6-button here is definitely stiffer than the original, and I don't know if that's because it's just new and the original 6-button here is so old that it's gotten worn in, but it definitely is a lot more stiff. But I like the feeling of this. I prefer the feeling of the original 6-button in regards to the plastic. But this feels very sturdy, very well made. Yeah, so super cool. Get this out of the way here. move my table. So here we'll put that right there. And now the star of the show. This thing is so tiny. Oh my gosh. Look at that. The Sega Genesis Model 2. That is so nifty. Wow. So we got two USB ports here. And then we have an HDMI and a USB, a micro USB port on the back here. There's the bottom. And then you got the cartridge slot, which does open. And this is based off of the Japanese Model 2, because as you can see here, we don't have any LED light, and there's a switch right here. You can kind of tell that the US was an afterthought, but that's okay. I'm glad we got it. And even the Sega CD expansion port comes off, and that is really cool. And you can even see a little bit of the board inside, just like the original. So very cool. If I can get that closed back. Oh my gosh, that is not one. There we go. So that is that. It's really well made. It looks just like the Model 2. So I'm gonna plug it in here, and we're gonna do some first impressions. Sorry for the the really weird setup here. I live in a very small New York City apartment, so I really have no space to record things like this. But this is my bed. But let's just jump right into this. Really kind of taking us back to the early 2000s of YouTube, huh? So I just turned on the system here. And let's see, we got language settings here, English. Okay. Let's see. So, we have oh, cool. So we got the Genesis 2 model chip, and then we have the Genesis 1, and both these systems actually use different chips. I'm partial to the original Genesis here. Okay. So let's look here. We got. Okay, we can sort them by CDs first. Let's just do that. So we got a bunch of games here. We got F for the Dolphin, which I've never been able to get into. Final Fight CD, which is awesome. And Mansion of Hidden Souls. I've only seen this on YouTube. It's an adventure game, kind of similar to Myst almost. Night Striker, which is the first time we're seeing it over here in the West. Robo Last, oh, Shining Force CD. Sylphie, which I actually own. And Sewage Shark. Sonic CD, of course. Ninja Warriors. And then a bunch of stuff to choose from. So that is really cool. So let's just start with a game here. Crusader of Senti, which is another reason why I wanted this system. This is over $1,000 game. It's insane. Devi and Pi. This is a game that was never released originally, and they released it for the first time on this system. Let's start out. Let's start with Sylphie. Let's see what Sylphie looks like. Now, this is a pretty cool shooter. It's still pretty affordable on the Sega CD, but it used FMVs with the backgrounds. Game art. You know, it actually looks pretty good, all things considered. Wow. Now this is cool because these games like Sylphid are never going to be re-released by Sega on the PlayStation Store, the eShop, any of those. We're never going to see these again, other than here on the Mini 2, and that's really cool. And it's a way to kind of preserve history a little bit and to introduce a bunch of games to people who have never gotten the chance to play them originally. Very cool. Let's get started here. Wow, this looks really good. Actually, this is impressive. I was not expecting it to look this good. Now it could just look good because I have the Sega CD in my mind, the original version, and that did not look as clear as this does. This is not a drill. All right, let's keep going. Oh, this is so exciting. I did not think they would re-release Sylphid ever in my lifetime. Wow. Okay. Feels good. Not feeling any lag. Very smooth. Right on, okay. Sylphid was very technically impressive when this came out back on the Sega CD. Should be a part coming up here that is pretty cool. Here, I think this is it. Ooh, getting a little vertigo here. Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool. Look at the ship down there. I mean, that is really, really impressive. And this looks great. This looks really great. Wow. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's go back to the menu here. And we'll pick one or two more games. I got my sweats on. It's like a Sunday morning. So we got Afterburner. I love that. But let's see. We just did a shooter. Let's try. I love Sonic 3. I love Sonic 3D Blast, and I know that's pretty controversial. Let's try Outrun. I'm a huge fan of the game Outrun. I actually just recently got the 3D Classics edition on the Nintendo eShop, and it's amazing. Okay, and the music is wonderful. I've got to do Passing Breeze.
Get ready.
All right. Yeah, look at this. Just listen to that music too. This is probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Definitely one of my favorite soundtracks for an arcade game. It's right up there with Space Harrier, which is also on here, and I also want to take a look at that. Wow, this is impressive. I was not expecting it to look this good. It outputs at 720p. This is a game that I would love to get an original copy for on the Genesis, but last I checked, it's actually kind of expensive. Oh, I love this game. I swear I drive better in real life. Wow. Oh, oh. And as I say that, we all go flying out. Just another Sunday drive. That looks really good. I'm impressed. So let's exit out of there. And speaking of Space Harrier, let's give Space Harrier a try. Now, supposedly they went back, and the original Sega Genesis did not support sprite scaling, and Space Harrier was ported to the Sega Genesis, and it used sprite scaling in the arcade, but instead they did some sort of pseudo effect that kind of emulated that, but it was not sprite scaling. So they went back and they gave it sprite scaling, which is really cool. We got the first Space Harrier and the second. Let's do number 2. And we might check out the original as well.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Oh wow, look how smooth that is. For those of you who have not played the original on the Genesis, it was a choppy mess. And this is very smooth. I am not good at Space Harrier. Okay, that's cool, but I gotta check out the original Space Harrier. That's where my heart is. Now, so I think they actually went back and they gave the original sprite scaling too. I could be wrong, but let's see. Oh yes.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Yes, they did. Look at that. Oh wow, this looks so much better. I actually, I played a lot of this on the Sega Game Gear, oddly enough, and I think there was, when I was a kid, I think Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube might have had this, or some sort of Sega collection had Space Harrier somewhere, and I remember listening to this track that's playing now, and just falling in love with it, and that's where my love of Space Harrier really started, is this tune. Yeah, this looks really good. Wow. Let's see. Survive to little boss here. This controller feels really great. It's very responsive. I feel no lag. Aww. I feel no lag whatsoever.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great. I don't know about that. Oh, yep, see, spoke too soon. That's awesome. Alright, we'll try one more game here. Yeah, I'm very impressed so far. let's see. How about we go to do another Sega CD one. Everybody loves Sonic CD. Let's check out Robo LS. Now this is a shmup here by Tengen. I actually have not played this one. I prefer the stiffness on this controller compared to the original. Okay. Alright, let's skip that. Sorry for all the sounds again. I'm in a New York City apartment here, and it's unavoidable. Robo LS. Alright. Game start. Yeah, look at this. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, this is running very smooth. It's very responsive, and it looks great. Woo! I love shmups, but I'm not good at them. Oh, and just like that. Just like that. Alright, so I'm back after playing with the Mini 2 here for a little bit, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I was a little skeptical going in, particularly with the image quality and the responsiveness, and luckily my worries were relieved. It looks and it plays great. It sounds great. There's so much to discover on this little system. So many games that I've never played before, and a lot of games that I actually haven't even heard of before. Robo LS was one of those. I had to do a little research on that before I started, but it's a very cool little system. It's a shame that it's not being advertised more and being produced in larger quantities. So that means it probably won't be going on sale either. So $120, $130 after shipping that's a steep price to pay for sure. But Shining Force CD alone goes for over $200, and there's a lot of actually valuable games on this system as well, like Crusaders of Sensi, $1,000 plus game. So you're saving a lot of money in that aspect, but it's a labor of love. It's really cool. They have cut a little bit of corners here with, there being no LED light and 720p, and a lot of big working designs games did not make it on here, like the Lunar series and Pop Full Mail, which is really unfortunate. But it's a great system. I'm glad we got it. I'm glad it was not just a Japanese exclusive. There's a lot of hidden gems on this system, a lot of new discoveries, and a lot of value. It's really cool, and so far I'm liking it as much as my Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and that says a lot, because I love that thing. That thing was also a labor of love. So a little steep in price, but I do think it's worth it for diehard Sega Genesis and Sega fans in general. And it's, who knows how long it's going to be on sale for. So if you can afford to get it, definitely pick it up. It's a great little system. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first look, and enjoyed my early 2000s YouTube-esque gameplay footage of me in my bedroom here. It was that's living in New York for you. So Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.